Everything is learnable and you can learn something new every single day. Hey guys, Jean Entre here. You're welcome to my channel once again. If you're not already subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Today we're talking about how to learn something new every single day. I remember I came across this phrase a long time ago and it said readers are leaders, and I think that is incredibly true. And I probably extend that by saying learners are leaders, because you can read but you won't learn. Just acquiring information is not enough. You have to acquire that information and implement that information for it to do anything in your life. And when I review the last 5 years, so I started my blog, my online biz journey, in 2014. And before that, I had kind of played around with blogging. My learning process started way before 2014. I want to say it started somewhere around 2012. I've talked about how I started a side hustle selling my textbooks on eBay and half.com, and what my very early side hustles were in this video right here. But over the course of that journey, one of the things that I have realized has made a huge difference has been my level of knowledge and my level of willingness to implement the knowledge that I have. And I realized that until I became super intentional about reading, about finding out. When I found out about blogging, I learned how. I started a blog on Blogger because that's what I could afford. When I started the blog, I wanted to learn, how do I promote this blog? How do I get people to read my blog? I went to find articles on how to do that. I implemented that. Then I learned, how do you monetize your blog? And even in that journey, in the last 2 years, I bought a course on how to make more money using affiliate marketing. And I've seen that also blow up. I learned how to start a freelance writing business. And, I took all those tips, and now, freelance writing is a major source of income in my life. And to me, that is amazing. And it all started just because I learned. I went out there, I got a course, I got the material, and I learned. So you can learn anything, and especially in our world today, and with access to internet being almost everywhere, like people are on their cell phones in villages in Africa, and they're on Facebook and Instagram. There is an opportunity for us to learn regardless of where we live now. And there's so much free information on the internet, on Google. You have open source websites where you can go, and I'm going to talk about some of those places where you can go and learn and gain some of this knowledge so you can also change your life. So of course, the number one way to learn something every single day is through books. And personally, I love ebooks, just because with ebooks I can have as many of them as I want, and I can read them on my phone, I can read them on a tablet, and the portability of my books is what makes me love ebooks. And so of course there are services like Kindle, and I'm going to list all of these websites down below in the description. There's Kindle, there's Scribd, there's Audible. All right, with Scribd you get access to both ebooks and audiobooks. There's Audible, that's purely audiobooks. There's audiobooks.com, and there's so many other websites out there that you can access to get access to good books. And what it is that sometimes I realize that I'll be teaching people something and it's out of a book, right? And at the end of it, people are like, oh my word, that was so amazing. Where did you learn that? And I'm like, it's a book that's available to every single one of us. But because I have read it, I look like the expert, guys. And so it's easy, super easy for you to go out there and sign up for any one of these services and get access to great books. And there are also free books that you can get access to. The second way, of course, is to learn through courses. And these days you can get courses for as cheap as $11, $12. It used to be that courses were in the thousands, and actually some courses are still thousands of dollars. But these days you can get access to some pretty good quality courses for fairly cheap. If you go to websites like Udemy, Skillshare, Coursera, all links below, you will find some of these courses there. Now, of course, there is a time investment with courses, just like books, where you have to sit down, you have to watch the course. And sometimes with Udemy, especially, sometimes the courses are not that great, and it's just the nature of having such an open marketplace. But having been on the platform myself, I have learned a lot of, actually, when I started this YouTube channel, one of the people I learned from, he's no longer on Udemy, but he was making thousands of dollars on Udemy, and he taught me some really valuable stuff that I'm still using, that are still helping my videos get found in search and such. And so it is possible for you to get some really good quality courses on Udemy. Skillshare, I think, is a little bit more, the quality is stepped up a notch, and because they tend to have more like bite-sized learning there, and they vet your videos and make sure it meets a certain standard. So Skillshare is another one, and I think with Skillshare you can pay a monthly fee and access all these courses. And then of course there's Coursera, and then they're also open universities, right? I think MIT has one, Harvard has one. Harvard even has a mini medical school. But I will say that if you want to invest in courses, invest in the paid ones, because sometimes the free ones, I find that they kind of shill on the information, and it's not worth your time sometimes. Number 3, you can learn through podcasts. Actually, when I started online podcasts, I consumed podcasts. You can ask my husband, he's right over there. Yeah, so podcasts for me were like a learning library, and I still listen to a lot of podcasts, not as much as I used to, because these days I try to invest more of my time into implementing. I have a lot of work as I'm recording these videos. Like, I have so much work to do, I have so much client work to finish, and even work for my own blog and products I'm creating, that I just don't have the time. Sometimes on my commute I'll try to chip in or like try to listen into a podcast. But these days, I think all those years of learning and listening to podcasts have paid off. And once a while, when I look through my podcast feed, the ones that look really interesting or something that I'm currently in the season of learning is on, then I'll jump in and listen to that podcast. But podcasts, if you're just starting out, podcasts will change your life. One thing I will advise you about podcasts, a piece of advice I'll give you, is be careful that you don't get sucked into analysis paralysis, because there will be so many things shared, there'll be so many ideas espoused. Sometimes I'll listen to a podcast and be like, oh, I can do that. And then I'll listen to the next podcast and I'm like, I can do that. And I'll listen to another podcast and I'm like, oh, that sounds like a good idea. And so you're always in that constant state of, shiny object syndrome. And you have to watch and guard against that, or else you'll be all over the place. And that's how I was in the beginning. But then, as I began to hone in on what my strengths were and what I really wanted to do, what I really enjoyed, I began to find my own niche and carve my own niche in this space, and now I'm thoroughly enjoying it. But podcasts are certainly an amazing way for you to learn. What are some of the podcasts that I recommend? I used to listen a lot to Entrepreneur on Fire. I listened a lot to Smart Passive Income podcast. I listened to Eventual Millionaire with Jamie Masters now. I listen a little bit to Amy Porterfield. She has a really good one, especially for those of you that are in online marketing. Aren't all of us in online marketing these days? Anyways, but she has some really good online marketing content. I also listen to How I Built This, and those are usually for more big CEOs, and they interview the CEOs and ask them how they built something. And I think it's good to kind of listen to get CEO perspective of things, because as you go in your business, you'll begin to think like a CEO. You have to actually, to grow your business, you have to begin to think like a CEO instead of just thinking as a solopreneur. And that will grow your business massively in ways that are amazing. So I listen to it for that purpose. But yeah, podcasts have been a great learning source for me, and they will be a great learning source for you as well. That is how you can learn something new every single day. Okay, beautiful people, so thank you so much for joining me. Once again, my name is Gertrude Nontra. If you're not already subscribed, hit the subscribe button and make sure to hit the little bell beside the subscribe button so that every time I put on a new video, you catch me. Thanks for watching. God bless.